Hey, what's up guys? Ryan here from ExtremeTerrain. Today I'll be reviewing and installing the Teraflex Falcon Nexus EF 2.2 Fast Adjust Steering Stabilizer fitting your 2018 and up Jeep Wrangler JL. This is going to be for the JL owner that's looking for the maximum performance and adjustability in the steering department by swapping out that factory steering stabilizer. This is a great upgrade for any Jeep owner, whether you're stock or modded. Now, adding a lift and larger tires can really take a toll on your steering stabilizer and diminish performance, as it's specifically designed for factory angles and those stock tires. This steering stabilizer will outperform your stock steering stabilizer, giving you better dampening and response on and off-road. Now, this steering stabilizer is made from durable, corrosion-resistant aluminum and has an induction-hardened shaft that's chrome-plated, making this one rock-solid unit that's going to handle even the most extreme terrain. This has 3 factory presets, giving you a soft, medium, and hard setting, so you can fine-tune it whether you're ripping through the trails in really tough terrain or if you're cruising down the highway. This is an easy addition for your off-roading machine and even works with the factory tie rod setup. Now, of course, this option is priced a little higher than your standard typical run-of-the-mill steering stabilizer, but this is for a very good reason. You are getting a top-of-the-line, high-quality steering stabilizer that is designed to outperform and outlast the competition, and right around $320, I think this is a great option to go with, and Teraflex even backs this with a 3-year warranty. Now, as far as installation goes, I'm going to give this a pretty easy 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, as you can get this thing installed in about 2 hours just using basic hand tools. Now, with that being said, let's hop into the install. Tools that we use for this install: 3/8 drive impact, 13mm socket, 18mm socket, socket extension, 3/8 drive ratchet. So we're going to start underneath of our Jeep while it's on the lift. Now, you don't have to necessarily do this on a lift, you can do this on the ground. If you are going to do it on the ground, one thing I would recommend is disconnect your track bar down here at the axle. This makes it a lot easier to get to these bolts for this bracket. So to get this steering stabilizer out, we're going to have 2 spots that it's being held. We have a bracket over here on the axle, and there's 3 bolts holding that in. And if you follow this steering stabilizer down here, it's attached to our tie rod over here with 2 bolts. So we're going to start over here at the tie rod and take these nuts off. So over here we have 3 bolts that are holding this together. We have 2 brackets, one below and above, and these bolts are holding it into the tie rod. So we're going to loosen up this bolt for the steering stabilizer right here, and we'll use an 18mm socket to do that. So we'll take this nut off. Take that off. Now, to get this bolt out of here, what we're going to do is push our wheel all the way to one side. This is going to change all the angles and give us a little more room to get these bolts out. So after that, go ahead and pop these bolts out. Since we have brand new bolts, we won't be reusing these. So we're going to come back over here to this axle mounted bracket. We're going to use a 13mm socket on our extension, get these 2 top bolts out, and then we'll get this side bolt out. Once you get that last bolt out, we're going to go ahead and get this whole system out. So before we get this new stabilizer installed, I want to take a moment just to show you some of the differences between a stock steering stabilizer and an aftermarket one such as this. Also, some of the benefits that you're going to get with an aftermarket one such as this. Now, when you're driving down the road, depending on what terrain you're driving over, your vehicle is picking up negative feedback. So you're hitting bumps and it's transitioning from the tires through the steering to the steering wheel. Now, the whole purpose of a steering stabilizer is to stabilize that feedback. It's a 50-50 valve shock, and what it does is it reduces that negative feedback. Now, your factory steering stabilizer is designed to handle your factory suspension, your factory tires, all that stuff. When you start adding a lift, larger tires, changing all that angle, you're creating more negative feedback that's transitioning through the suspension system. And this little guy is not going to hold up to the challenge. Another side effect of that negative feedback is going to be wearing out ball joints and tie rod ends. So the next option, and the best option, is to upgrade to a stronger aftermarket unit. Now, as you can see with this one, we hit a rock and it dented the factory tube. These hang down pretty low and they're out in the open, so they can get caught on things. The way this one is constructed is it has a solid aluminum exterior body. This body is going to be a lot stronger, and it's also going to take a beating if you manage to hit something and you just so happen to do that. It's going to hold up a lot better. Now, like I said, this is made of durable, heavy-duty, corrosion-resistant aluminum. So it's great for heat dissipation dissipation, and when these things get worked hard, they get really hot. Great for heat dissipation, also for corrosion resistance. Now this also has a billet internal piston. This is another great thing for wear and heat dissipation, as well as corrosion. Now this Falcon option has a rather large 5/8 inch hardened shaft. Now this shaft is very sturdy, and that's going to keep that from bending if you do happen to hit it on anything, or if you're just in really rough terrain and it's collapsing and expanding. It also has a chrome plating on the outside. This is going to be very wear resistant. It's going to keep from scratching, and it's going to keep the seal inside of here very safe if you do happen to get any dirt, unlike this one, which has a cover. So that's a great benefit of this aftermarket one. Now at the end of this, it has a nice, very heavy duty bushing. That's gonna hold up very well. It's gonna get rid of some of that negative feedback as well. Now the EF in this design is for equal force. So what this thing is designed to do is it is designed to return back to center. So that's really gonna up that handling and performance, and you're really gonna notice that while you're driving around. Another great feature, and the best feature of this particular steering stabilizer, is it is adjustable. So it has a knob, a quick action knob. You can crawl underneath of the Jeep and you can change it. It has a soft, medium, and hard setting, so you can soften it up for really rocky terrain, or you can firm it up on the highway, and that's all going to cater to increasing the handling and performance. Now this thing is a totally bolt-on option, and then one of the nice things is it goes exactly in the factory position and even comes with new brackets. So with that being said, we're gonna get this bolt out, switch it over. I'm gonna show you how to get this installed and what it looks like on the Jeep. So like I said, we need to reuse this factory bolt. We have brand new brackets, but we gotta get this bolt out. So we're gonna take that 18mm socket, get this nut off, and pull out that carriage bolt. So next thing we're gonna do is install our brackets. You're gonna have a top bracket, a bottom bracket, and you also have a spacer, and we even get brand new carriage bolts to install it. So I'm gonna bring you over here, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to get these installed. So your bracket is going to be shaped like this. You're gonna have this one hole all the way off out here. That's gonna face towards the axle. Your spacer, we're gonna line up these two spots like this. This is gonna go on the bottom, so what we're gonna do is just lay this up on top of there, and then we'll drop our carriage bolts down through. Now to get this one to drop through, we're gonna have to move this back and forth, and then eventually that's gonna line up and drop right through. So once they drop through, then we're gonna place our other bracket on the bottom, slide that up on there, and then we'll loosely install these nuts. Next, we're gonna install our steering stabilizer and the bracket where it meets the axle. So we'll take those factory bolts, we'll reinstall all three of those, and then we'll get the other side connected. So then we're gonna swing this up, we're gonna align these holes, and then we're gonna drop that factory carriage bolt down through the top. Once that drops all the way down through, we'll put that factory nut back on, and then we'll go ahead and tighten all this stuff up. So then to tighten up these three bolts, we're gonna use that same 18mm socket. And once you tighten them up, you wanna torque them to 59 foot-pounds. So next we're gonna go over to this bracket. We're gonna use that same 13mm to tighten up these three bolts. Once we get them tightened up, you can torque them down to 30 foot-pounds. So that's gonna wrap up my review and install. For more videos and products like this, check us out at ExtremeTerrain.com.